Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gabriel Aguilar, and I'm going to talk about How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie and the impact that it had on my life. I discovered this book about 3 years ago when I was in Kalamazoo Valley Community College in Michigan. I'm part of an apprenticeship program by Lippert Components, and before I came to Ivy Tech, that way they enrolled me. The first couple of months were really hard mentally for me. I was worried about everything. I worried that I wasn't going to get good grades in classes. I worried that I wouldn't be able to live by myself. I worried about my appearance and how other people perceive me. I worried about the final projects that we had to do for one class, even though we were like in the beginning of the semester, among a lot of other things. I wasn't able to sleep. I started to sleepwalk. One day I just woke up in the shower with my clothes on. I stopped talking with my classmates and my coworkers that were in the same program. My weight got out of control. I was really in my head all the time, depressed and anxious for most of the time. That pretty much lasted one whole semester. The next semester, I got enrolled in organizational behavior. The class was about how people treat one another inside an organization, such as a business. The instructor started to talk about some personal book recommendations, and the one he made more emphasis on was how to stop worrying and start living. He talked about this book and how the book had helped him personally and how he revisited the book once every few years. I decided to give it a try, and I can personally say that it literally changed my life for the better. I never thought I could change so much just by reading a book. My mental health improved a lot, and I started to when I started to apply all the concepts that were described in the book. It wasn't easy, but I'm so glad I found it. The book tells the story of Dale Carnegie, the writer, his dream on becoming a writer, and his job as a public speaking teacher. He had a lot of different kinds of people in his class: housewives, businessmen, engineers, salesmen, and a lot of the traits had one factor in common. None of them knew how to deal with worry. He tried to find a book about it in the New York Great Public Library, and he only found 22 books listed under worry. Meanwhile, there were like 200 books about worms. After not being successful finding material about it, he decided to wrote, to write it himself. The book was published in 1948. Although most of the examples cited in the book are from a different era, I fully understood the message. It does not make a difference whether it happened during the first century or current. Worry is a constant no matter when you live. The book consists of a series of rules and guidelines that one is supposed to follow in order to conquer worry. It also contains stories of people that were in his class or he interviewed that displayed the rules in real life situations and how by applying them their worries completely vanish. Some of the concepts I learned from the book are: get all the facts, really understand what you're worried about, then make a call and take action. Get busy doing meaningful work, fill your mind and leave no space for worry. Accept the inevitable, it is so, it cannot be otherwise. When you stop fighting against the inevitable, you free yourself to focus on what really matters. Concern and worry are different. Concern is the awareness of the problem, and worry is anxiety and loss of control. It's not the first time I've heard most of these concepts and the, most of the concepts that he went over in the book, but thanks to the stories and the way he explained them, I truly related to the people mentioned and I understood the dangers of letting worry rule my life. To conclude my presentation, I would like to recommend this book, even if you don't suffer from severe anxiety. This book makes an excellent job in portraying a different way to approach problems, even in the most severe cases, such as life threatening situations out of our control.